all are wonderful out there. Thank you all for finding time and visiting today's live session on National Cancer Awareness Day, brought to you by Pentonia Private Limited Company, a government-recognized startup which deals in the field of event management on a variety of areas in education, social, marketing, promotional events, recreation, and sports in and outside India. I am actually your host for today, and I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all of you who are watching this live session on the noteworthy occasion of National Cancer Awareness Day. So, how are you?
I'm fine. What about you, ma'am?
Sir,
And what
I am
about
good
update?
too.
And what about Pentomnia?
The Pentomnia is doing great.
Yeah, that I'm seeing. Light और ये पीछे हो
So, meanwhile, Ashwin sir joins us.
They are with me and yep. So here's Dr. Ashwin.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. So, viewers, today we are going live with none other than Dr. Ashwin Phillips, sir, who is a medical oncologist from Christian Medical College and Hospital, Ludhiana. And accompanying him, we have another guest who is Ashish Parwala, sir, who is none other than the founder and chairman of Heaven Organization, Punjab. So, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting us in this International Cancer Day celebration.
Sir, we are glad to have you here. We are glad to have you both here. It meant a lot that you had connected with us.
Thank you.
So beginning with National Cancer Awareness Day, it is observed to highlight the significance of increased awareness about cancer prevention and early detection for the general public. National Cancer Awareness Day is observed on 7th of November every year to coincide with the birth anniversary of the eminent scientist Madame Curie. Marie Curie is remembered for her discovery of radium and her huge contributions to the fight against cancer. Her work led to the development of nuclear energy and radiotherapy for the treatment of cancer. Sir,
Yes.
we are glad. Sir Ashwin, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to again,
Thank you, sir.
just wanted to reinforce this. It's been 2014 since the Union Ministers had declared this November 7th for the National Cancer Awareness Day. And like you rightly said, it's based on the birth anniversary of Madame Marie Curie, who did landmark studies in with radium and radioactive substances, and that is what paved the way to initial cancer treatment. And initially, we used it was surgery alone for most of the patients with cancer, and then this discoveries led to develop radiotherapy as well. And now we have gone a long way forward in the treatment of cancer. Today, we don't just give surgery to patients. We don't give just radiotherapy to patients, and chemotherapy is also an important part. And now we have gone beyond chemotherapy also. So today we don't chemotherapy is a blanket term, that is a type of treatment that is used to treat cancer patients, but it is a very blanket term. So now we have gone beyond even giving chemotherapy. Today we don't, for most of my patients, we don't give chemotherapy. For a subset of patients, we can avoid chemotherapy. We can put them on tablets, hormonal therapies, and now the latest thing that come in oncology is immunotherapy. And immunotherapy is changing the way we treat cancer patients. And with patients who are terminally sick, stage 4, where people used to write them off in the past, now we have patients surviving for a long term, and we have patients surviving for 5 to 6 years as well. So with the newer developments, we are trying to see that one, even in advanced stages, patients survive long without much complications. And over a period of time, we hope that cancer patients will be like diabetic patients or hypertensive patients who would live with a chronic disease and live well with a good quality of life. That is for the late stage patients. But overall, what I have to say is that if you detect cancer early and go to a multi-specialty, multi-centric hospital where there's facilities for surgery, radiation, and oncology and medical oncology, and you detect your cancer early, all early stage cancers can be fully cured if treated well in an optimal setting. So the main aim is to focus on prevention, and definitely one of the main things to prevent is to reduce your alcohol tobacco, have a healthy diet, good exercise, and also keep a note of your family history. And for a subset of patients, you'll have to screen them much earlier than others. So, having said this, done, it is a curable disease if you diagnose it early. And the most important thing is not to wait on symptoms, and don't hesitate to meet a trained team of doctors for your diagnosis and treatment.
Yes, sir. So as you said that uh, about cancer, so many of us always confuse ourselves. Like you said that we should avoid alcohol, we should avoid eating tobacco. But we have seen many of people who have never consumed alcohol or tobacco, still they undergo cancer.
Okay.
So how it happens?
So that's what I said. See, alcohol and tobacco are not just the only factors. They play a huge contribution to the development of cancer. Okay. Suppose you develop a head and neck cancer. So head and neck cancers are much common in people who use tobacco, who smoke, all these things. Okay. Having said that, a subset of patients will develop cancer without even having this. Okay. That is because your body has every body or every cell in your body. Okay. What is cancer actually? Cancer is an abnormal proliferation of normal cells. So your normal cells don't die, they keep growing and growing, and that is what is called a cancer. So every cell in your body has the potential to become cancers. We the God has given us a cell cycle. So what happens is that after a certain period of time, each cell will die off and new cells come in. But what happens in cancer is these cells don't die off, they become abnormal and keep growing again and again. Now this factors that make this happen is, one is tobacco, alcohol, radiation, sunlight, the radiation which is coming through your x-ray machines and all those things. But having said that, then sometimes your DNA gets altered because of certain reasons. And when that happens, your DNA, you have breaks in your body. That break is taken off, and these things happen. So, uh, for those patients who develop cancer without these risk factors, okay, it is usually going to be because of a germline or a genetic mutation that happens in the body. And that is an important thing, because we have women who are non-smokers who develop lung cancer, and understanding the genetic basis of this cancer has made huge changes in the way we treat these patients. So if you have a patient who's a non-smoker who develops lung cancer, we always think that they probably have a DNA defect, and there are tests that detect this DNA defect. And if we find out the right defect, sometimes we can put them on tablets that put them on a long time remission for a long time. So that is an important thing to
Yes,
understand.
sir.
That is, these are smoking, tobacco, alcohol, obesity are risk factors. But having said that, done, there are certain things which are molecular at the molecular level that happen, and those also have to be looked into when you look at patients with cancer.
Right, sir. Sir, my second question to you is like we have we you said that it is more nice that it is detected at early stage. So how can we know the first symptoms of a cancer? Because it is not known. It doesn't show clearly that we are having a cancer or not. So how can we detect ourselves that the early signs of cancer?
Okay. So what you need to do is, like I said, cancer is the entire body has the ability to become cancerous, right? So it's very difficult to say that one particular
Yes, sir.
symptom will stand for a particular cancer. But a few things you have to keep in mind. If you are having abnormal weight loss, okay, if you're having fever that is persistent for more than 2 months, you're having weight loss more than 10% in the last 6 months, you're having blood in stools, you have persistent cough which is unexplained, okay, and your weight loss which is unexplained, you have an ulcer that does not heal, any ulcer in the body that is not healing, okay, all these symptoms sometimes points towards abdomen distension, jaundice that comes on and off, and you're not able to understand why it is happening. So these things are vague symptoms that point towards the fact that you have something that is going on. Second thing you need to understand is that certain cancers can be screened, especially if you have cervical cancer, breast cancer. These things can be screened, and it is recommended that every woman after the age of 50, in India the guidelines are very vague, but by and large, every woman after the age of 50 should undergo a mammogram once a year, or at least once in 2 years. All the more if you have a family history, that is, if in your first degree relations, if you have somebody in your first degree, that is your mother, your sister, or your aunt, or somebody, your grandparent, somebody has a breast cancer or an ovarian cancer, it is important that you are also going to have a slightly high risk of this cancer, so you check yourself more regularly. So the best way to do a examination of a breast is do a breast self examination. That is, every woman after the should actually know how to examine her own breast. Okay, there is a technique to do that. So that is usually done if you're having a menstrual cycle. After 7 days after your menstrual cycle is when you examine your own breast. You can stand in front of the mirror, use your right hand to examine your left breast, and you go in circles and keep palpating the breast, and you can see abnormal. So one thing you have to understand is to understand that how your normal breast looks like. So once you keep doing this on a regular basis, you'll understand when there's some lump that is coming in. And if at all you find a lump, don't worry, don't panic. 90% of the lumps are going to be benign. But having said that, then if you find an abnormality in your breast, always go to an onco surgeon or oncologist and have a review. So that is important. So screening mammogram has been found to be very effective in the Western countries, and that is why they detect a lot of cancers in the early stage. When it comes to colon cancers and GI cancers, after the age of 50, you could do a colonoscopy once in 5 years, which is will help you identify. A stool or cord blood is also helping. So certain tests can be done for you to have an idea whether you're having a predisposition or not. But having said this, it is not a hard and fast rule. So the main thing is that if you find abnormal symptoms, that is a key to the thing. Weight loss, persistent fever, any blood in stools, any persistent cough, any blood in cough, any visual issues, any abnormal symptom that persists for some time, you should always keep in mind there's a possibility that something serious is going on, and don't hesitate to meet a physician once you have these symptoms. Always check yourself. I think it's important. For women, mammogram is a very important thing from the age of 50, once in 2 years at least, and a cervical examination with the pap smear is extremely important in women.
Yes, sir. So it was a very informative thing that you said for a woman as well. So my next question to you is that there are different stages of cancer. So, sir, in how different stages of cancer is concerned with the effects of cancer, like at every stage, how the effect is of cancer to a person.
Yeah, so see, there are usually when you look at solid tumors, that is the breast, ovary, and all those cancers, uh, as your stage increases, your risk increases. The chances of your cure comes down. A stage 1 cancer is something that by definition would mean that somebody has a cancer that is localized to that part itself. Suppose you have a breast cancer at stage 1, it means the size of the tumor is small and it is only in the breast and not spread to anywhere in the breast. Advantage of finding it that at an early stage is that you may sometimes avoid radiation and chemotherapy versus early stage breast cancer, or surgery itself would probably help you out. So that's what stage 1 is. Stage 2 usually means it has gone slightly beyond the breast into your axilla or some other smaller area. Stage 3 means it is slightly more in size, and stage 4 means it has gone from your breast to a lung or a bone or a liver. The problem with the stage 4 cancer is that by definition, as of now, we cannot cure stage 4 cancers. But having said that done, it doesn't mean that if you have a stage 4 cancer, you will die immediately or not, because today treatment has changed so much that we have patients surviving 5 to 6 years very well, going to work, doing the things regularly, having stage 4 cancer. So the landscape of cancer is changing dramatically. And I said, like diabetic patients, you're diabetic, you take your insulin, you take your you're living a normal life. So cancer treatment has also changed dramatically. We still haven't been able to achieve a cure. The same in diabetics also, you're not able to achieve a cure, but we are able to give a good quality of life and improve the lifespan as well as maintain a good quality of life in these patients. So as your stage increases, your chance of a cure becomes difficult. So that is why an early stage gives you a better cure, an advanced stage slightly lesser cure. But having said that, if you have an advanced stage also, I think it's important that you take treatment and follow an oncologist advice.
Yes, sir. So as you said in your last statement that we can go for a surgery or some kind of thing. So sir, it is a myth. It is usually believed that if we go for a surgery during cancer, the risk of cancer increases. We have heard
See,
from many
there
of
are
the
a lot of myths.
individuals.
People
Is it
believe that
true
if
or
you,
it is a myth?
yeah, so there are a lot of myths which I think is important for you to understand. A lot of people hesitate to do a biopsy. They say that biopsy karega to fail jayega bimari. Okay. Now my question is, if you
Yes,
don't do
sir.
a biopsy, what is going to happen? The disease is not going to sit there and keep quiet. Fundamentally, people say
Yes,
that
sir.
biopsy करेगा तो फैल जाएगा हमारे पड़ोसी को था वो फैल गया. Those are myths that people say. Now, unless you do a biopsy, and biopsies are always in a good hospital going to be done by qualified people who know how to do it. So that is why I always say go to a cancer specialist, go to a cancer center that treats patients in numbers. A biopsy will tell you what type of cancer you have, what grade and which
Yes.
subtype it is. And today we are not, suppose you have lung cancer or even breast cancer. It is not one type. There are 5 types of breast cancer and the treatment is different from each type. Without a biopsy, you cannot say what is the right treatment and which drug to give and how long to give and what are the outcomes. So surgery doesn't actually spread the disease. A biopsy doesn't spread the disease. On the contrary, it helps you to get you what understand what is happening, and from there, it's your treatment starts. So biopsy is always done by qualified, trained people. So that's why you have to go to a qualified person to do a biopsy. So I think that myth has to stop because that is the biggest deterrence that people have. I have just seen somebody in the casualty who was waiting for 6 months. But the problem is the more you wait, the understand one thing that the disease is not your friend. It is never going to be your friend.
Yes, sir.
It is going to survive. So for it to survive, it has to kill you. So it will do all
Yes,
that it
sir.
is to kill you to survive to survive. It is as simple as that.
Yes, sir. True, sir. So I hope this statement would have cleared many of the myths and many of the misunderstandings which we all have towards cancer and the surgery we have during cancer. So, like for a common people, like we all know that related to cancer, the only treatment we usually remember is chemotherapy. So, sir, like you said that there are different types of cancers, there are different types of stages. So, sir, do treatments also vary with that
Exactly, that's what I said. So if you
according to the stages
most of
and
the
the
cancers,
types of cancers?
if in early stage, and if it's diagnosed very early and you do a good surgery without leaving disease behind, then sometimes chemotherapy is avoided. We don't have to give chemotherapy for a very early stage cancer. Now you also need to understand why we give chemotherapy. People keep asking me why chemotherapy. I've removed my breast lump. I've removed my lump. Why give chemotherapy? So there's a principle behind it. What happens is that if you have a 1 centimeter breast tumor tissue, there is 10 to the 9 billion cells of cancer in that tissue. That means that is the amount of tumor cells that is lying in a 1 centimeter tissue. Now, cancer comes in a fact that you also understand that by the time this tissue is all, by the time you have a 1 centimeter lesion, there would be micrometastatic spread. That is, there would be tumor in your blood, which you cannot see in a CT scan, which you cannot see in your. Why does cancer come back? See, somebody has a breast cancer surgery and does not take treatment. After 5 years, they have bone lesions, brain lesions. From where does that come? That comes from the thing that this cancer cells microscopically are present in blood, and they go and deposit in some other site. Sometimes they start growing in these abnormal sites. So chemotherapy is given to kill those micrometastatic disease that is lying in the blood and to prevent you from having a relapse later on. So that's the principle of giving chemotherapy in an early stage breast cancer. But having said that, done very early
Yes.
stage breast cancer, if your hormones are positive, we avoid giving chemotherapy from stage 1 and stage 2. We put them on hormonal therapy itself. That is just tablet pills are good enough. So chemotherapy is usually given if you have a slightly more advanced disease or a stage 4 disease. For a very early stage cancer, nowadays the evidence of giving chemotherapy is coming down because we have hormonal therapy and targeted therapy in.
Yes, sir. So now, like we both use treatment, and we all know that different body reacts differently to every treatment. So, sir, what are the side effects one can face in each type of treatment we undergo?
Yeah, so one thing you need to understand is that we are not in the era of Anand movie where somebody had lymphosarcoma of the intestines. Treatment has changed, supportive care has changed. So people don't develop all the complications that you fear. A lot of people get afraid of complications. They say that we will have this, we saw somebody die. Yeah, so
Yes, sir.
it's important for you to understand that the treatment has changed dramatically. But also understand the fact is that when we treat cancer patients, we treat them based on their body weight, their height, their performance status. Performance status means we have a score which like tells you that the patient is fit, moderately fit, or unfit. So your chemotherapy, the same dose that I get will not be the same dose that somebody else gets. We have to modify the patient's height, weight, his performance status, his albumin reports. So we see a patient and we decide all these things before we give a chemotherapy. So we don't give the same dose that if suppose I was to get chemotherapy, the same dose is not what you would get. It will be depending upon your body structure. That is an important thing to understand. Now, having said that done, if you give chemotherapy to 100 patients, 5 to 10 of them may develop complications. Mainly what you would expect when you give chemotherapy is some of the drugs can cause you to lose your hair. Now that is because these drugs
Yes.
act on your cell cycle. Okay, cell cycle means the cells which are rapidly dividing. So in cancer, what happens is when you kill the rapidly dividing cells, your normal cells also will have a bit of an effect. Okay, in a way, I think that's a good thing because you know that your drugs are working. How else do you know your medicine is working? That means it is working.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
this hair loss is not permanent. Some of these drugs can cause hair loss, but usually we give chemotherapy for around 4 to 6 cycles. Now, once you stop your chemotherapy, within 6 weeks after that, the hair starts going back to normal. It is not a permanent thing. Another thing that you can sometimes have is you can have nausea and vomiting, but Today, we have so many medicines which we give before the chemotherapy to prevent the patients from developing any symptoms. What I'm saying is chemotherapy has changed so much that today we hardly admit patients. We use a daycare facility. Patients come, meet us, we see the reports, they go to the daycare, get the chemo, and go back home. You don't admit 95% of the patients you don't admit. So you give the chemo and you send them back home. So that is how easy giving chemotherapy has become. I mean, we have so many new drugs that prevent you from having vomiting, that prevent you from having diarrhea. In spite of all this, everybody is different. So some people develop vomiting, diarrhea, loose stools. WBC counts can go down. But we have medicines for all this. So the main things when you're on treatment is to follow a healthy diet, keep in contact with your treating team. If you have any symptoms, don't hesitate to call up your treating team or to come to the hospital immediately, because these symptoms sometimes if you go unchecked can be problematic.
Yes, sir. So, like many of people, when they know that they have got cancer, they become very demotivated. They lose hope that they will live or not. So, how to keep themselves motivated? This is a very big thing, and they should have fight against it.
So that is because I think there are a lot of myths. One of the biggest problems that happens is people sit and wait and wait and wait and wait. Okay, and in doing that waiting thing, I've told you the disease is not your friend. It is not going to. It has no emotion. So the sooner you start treatment, the better. Okay. Uh, yeah, so we have psycho-oncologists and people who look at it for. I know it's not easy. When you have a disease like cancer, a lot of things come into your head. Will I survive? Is my treating doctor? Is the doctor giving me the right medicine? You will take 100 opinions. People tell you 100 things. Okay, you will get afraid. Financial issue will be there. You will think what happens to my family after I go, and all those things. These are not easy. I mean, it's very easy for us to say, but when we see patients and see the struggles, I understand how difficult it is. So one thing is yes, keep your hope. Okay, we treat patients with stage 4 cancer, and I have patients surviving almost 3.5 years without getting chemotherapy, and they look perfectly fine, just like you and me. I've used patients with stage 4 cancer, breast cancer, young women with married children, very small, who have come to me in desperate states, and we have new medicines which are capable of controlling the disease for long. And if you see them on the road, you will never know that they were taking treatment for cancer. So it is important that you discuss with people who are educated. You go to a good center, go to a good team that treats you, and always be hopeful, and keep asking your doctor the questions that you want. Whatever your fears are, instead of going in, you're always free to take your opinions. You should take multiple opinions wherever you are, but always free feel to ask your doctor your fears, talk openly. And there is a new branch in oncology called psycho-oncology, which we encourage, where we send our patients to a trained psychologist who deals with these patients and understands their fears, who discusses with them, and who gives them psychotherapy as well. So it is a huge game. More in India because the expenses are slightly, but the government has a lot of schemes. The drugs costs have come down dramatically. We encourage clinical trials. Clinical trials are not experiments. Clinical trials are government approved studies of drugs which can be done on patients. And advantage of being in a trial sometimes in a stage 4 patient is that it helps you to get a drug which is very expensive free of cost. So all these things are important, and the main thing is go to a good center, go to a good qualified team. That is extremely important, rather than wasting your time and your money going around 10 people.
Yes, sir. So, like we always have heard that people wait for that time, like it will pass. We don't have to take medications, maybe because of some financial issues. Now, as we are talking about like National Cancer Awareness Day, so how to spread this awareness? Like you said that it should be detected at its very first stage. We should go for a proper medication. We should not lose hope. But it is very easily said as that when we when we go to execute it, it's become very difficult for us. Half of the people just die because they are scared of it. Because not because of the cancer, but because of they're scared. So how we can spread the awareness?
So the fundamental thing you need to understand or tell people is that what is the point of being scared? जो डर गया वो मर गया. Okay,
Yes.
so डर के कोई फायदा. People tell me कि हम बैठ रहा था, हम सोच रहा था. मैंने सोच के क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. है problem. Your family needs to save you. You need to live for your family. You have a problem. You have a dog standing in the corner going to bite you. What will you do? Will you stand there, or will you take a stick and hit it? So fundamentally, you have to put yourself in the situation to understand that. Okay, difficulties come in life. and financial things also are important. So we do have a lot of help. There are a lot of organizations that help these patients. We also try to help. We also have some funds which I've got from donations from people who have survived cancer, because they have been able to survive. They give us some money to help other people. So genuinely poor patients, we understand, and we want to. The aim of this organization is that my aim in the next 10 years is that nobody should go untreated for the lack of funds, and we do have donors and people who help us out on this. It is difficult as an organization to give treatment free for everybody, but we are able to marginalize
Yes,
treatment
sir.
so that everybody is benefited, and we also have a few government schemes running. So all the more said is the fact that the more we try to do this, we need more patients to understand that, to come forward and not to hesitate, and that can only be done through awareness, and that what you are doing, and which is something that we support all these programs for.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for your such a valuable insight on this noteworthy occasion of National Cancer Awareness Day. Thank you for all your reviews and thank you for answering our questions. I have the last question for Ashish, sir. That as we all know already that he works for a social organization which is named as Heaven. So, sir, what steps we can take as an individual to stop the occurrence of cancer and how we can spread the awareness?
Okay, it's Sargam of Heaven. I may not be clear. It's Sargam of Heaven. It's an Christian organization, or you can say online thing, and we are working to teach the gospel, Christian gospel, about the love of the Christ. So it's the Sargam of Heaven,
Yes, sir.
and you also know that I'm also the founder and CEO of
Yes, sir.
Extreme Royals Technologies. That is the our technical things that we are doing it. And regarding the awareness, I must say that whatever the sir Dr. Ashwin sir has told, that is enough for each of us. So what somebody says they in the, what do you think, sir, diets are be the major diets? Diets should be taken at home also. It's good, and outside food sometimes it's not so healthy, and tobacco cause cancer. Tobacco increase the chances of, yeah. Now Shahid has good that they have told us that tobacco is the increased chances of cancer. Even they, if you see the label of that any tobacco kind of things, they are already written there that tobacco kills, tobacco makes cancer, but people doing it. I don't know why, but awareness should be taken, that should be taken like healthy food and regular checkups in the hospitals, and these are the things can be taken. And regarding regarding diet, I should say that sir should tell us more accurately.
Yeah, so
Yes.
a healthy diet means a diet that is high in fiber, less in carbohydrates and sugars. Okay, that is fundamentally the same for everything. That reduces the chance of your cardiac issues, diabetes, and all those things. Certain cancers are seen in patients who are overweight, who are obese, like colon cancer, breast cancer. There seems to be a higher proportion of patients who have overweight and obese who develop these diseases. So, a healthy diet is one that is rich in fiber, less in carbohydrates, high in protein, and less in sugars. So, avoid as much as possible refined sugar, refined food. I mean, like your pastry stuffs, like pastries, cakes, and all those things, they are high in refined sugar and high in refined flour. So, they are not good for your diet at any point of time. Focus more on healthy diets like vegetables, salads. Meat is allowed in moderation. Anything in moderation is okay. Anything in excess is not good in life. So as far as possible, try to take your boiled vegetable meats or your steamed fish and all those things which are healthy. But frying per se, as your age advances, the more you take oily food, the more you develop your body weight, the more you develop all the and all these things have developed and have, if you use oil that is being used oil again and again, जो oil बार बार आप use करते हो, that is has a tendency to be carcinogenic. So all these things are important. So main thing is to stick to a healthy diet. Do exercise 45 minutes, 3 to 4, 5 days a week. Moderate exercise, which is important. Avoid tobacco as much as possible. alcohol is okay in limitation, but understand this okay is based on the Western thing because the climate is cold in the West, so they take alcohol not to get high. They take alcohol as a part of their diet. For an Indian population, it
Yes,
is
sir.
our body is not suited for all these things. So live the previous generations lived it well. They had a very healthy diet and healthy exercise and work. So that is very important to maintain. What about environmental
So we have a
pollutions? Yes, so they play a huge role in lung cancer. Uh, and that is something that we as a government need to look into the policy. And that is one of the things that your air pollution that can cause a lot of issues. Lung cancer is known for this. So that's one of the things that causes, all these things are carcinogens. Carcinogens are things that can cause cancer. So what they do is they go to the normal cell, they damage the DNA, and when the DNA is damaged, abnormal proteins are produced, and these abnormal proteins then end up to be cancer cells. So these are all risk factors.
yes, sir. So I hope we have answered every question for today. So is there anything I would invite both of you, like Ashish sir and Ashwin sir, like you, is there anything you would say before we wrap up?
Yeah. So what I would like to say is that uh, CMC Ludhiana has all the facilities to treat cancer. We have medical oncology, radiation oncology, surgical oncology. We have a full team with hematology, the bone marrow transplant unit. So we have all the facilities to treat cancer, and we encourage patients to come to us. And we just want to be sure that we are there for you, and whatever help for the organization we can, we are more than willing to help patients who deserve to be helped. Thank you.
Ashish sir, is there anything you would like to say before we wrap up?
No, sir has told us very clearly and very accurately, and what are important things regarding today's awareness program should be there. The sir has told to the point things, and I'm glad that sir has given us the time for joining us at the awareness program. Hope all the person who are watching us knows more about the awareness of the cancer and its treatment and how to detect early.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for all your reviews. Thank you, sir, for finding time and joining us to this live session. We had a wonderful time with you. Thank you for sharing such a valuable insights on this significant occasion of National Cancer Awareness Day. It was a great session with you. We hope we can get more chances in future, like we will connect with you both again. We are very glad to come and connect to you. And so with that, I guess we are good to go now. And we had a wonderful experience talking to Dr. Ashwin sir and Dr. Ashish sir. And thank you for joining us today.
Sure.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you, Team Pentomia, for organizing such a awareness program and for joining us live. And I also thank for all the people who joined us today in this live session. We will come soon on 11th of November, again sharp at 6 p.m. live on National Education Day. So people, please stay tuned with us and do join us that day also. I hope you had a great evening ahead and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening, sir.